Hey, patrons, welcome to the Utah Outcasts Secret Patron Show. We wanted to take a second to thank you all for your support. Whether you're the patron joining us, I need to really fucking update the script because it's old. Whether you're the one joining us right after watching the regular show or some person who stuck out the 6-month window to see the show, I, for one, am happy to have you here joining us. This week, we get to finish up the clip we picked from last week because we went 30 goddamn minutes on that last week, and that was shocking to me. And we only got 6 minutes into it. So this is John Sonmez, number 2, the guy from Simple Programmer who put up a creationist / evolution YouTube.
X. Fuck you.
Oh, yeah. So I'm sure I'll have to talk about this with him when it starts actually showing up on YouTube because he kind of follows what we do and what I do. And so it's like, oh, he's going to be like, hey, why'd you use my video and make fun of me? I'm like, because you brought up stupid arguments, man. Really dumb arguments, not even like good ones. So last week we finished up at about 6 minutes where he brought up Elon Musk and us living in a virtual simulation. You might remember we went off on that one for quite a bit.
Yeah, where he went
brain in a vat and solipsism. Yeah. And so here we go.
And the computer program might not have started, the data on that program may not go back that far. It may be that there's a whole bunch of seeded data in there, in the program, that goes back for our history to make it look like things are older than they are. There's a...
Okay, that's called last Thursdayism. They actually have a term for this.
Yes.
It also falls under the omphalos hypothesis, but last Thursdayism is a similar response to omphilism, which posits that by the same logic, the world might have been created last Thursday, or by implication, any other given date and time, but with the appearance of the age, so people's memories, history books, fossils, and light already on its way from the distant stars, and so forth.
And to that I respond with everything else I do, like free will. So fucking what?
Yeah.
This is where I exist.
Yeah.
Why is this an argument? I understand that some people find it intellectually stimulating to conceptually to debate these concepts and just to work through them, but in the day-to-day, I find them largely useless, and so does everyone else.
It is a completely useless thing to argue because
they are because they're simply philosophical arguments
and thought experiments and yeah. And so even if we have just this seeded data for the reality in which we live in, we live in this reality.
That's still the reality.
And for any other intents and purposes, what we have tracked as our history is our history, even if it was created that way. Like just because it was created last Thursday doesn't make it any different. You know, we have no way to judge otherwise.
Right. Yeah, we have evidence to believe that it wasn't that way, but if that was all just put into place last Thursday and that's just the way we experience things, then what fuck difference does it make?
It doesn't make any difference, and that's what this drives me insane about this fucking argument he's making.
Right.
Billion explanations for it. It could be that you had 100 million years ago, this entire universe warped in from another dimension, right?
Okay, maybe.
Sure.
No, like you said, there's billions of things you said it could be, but those are thought experiments. Those aren't what we're working with. We're talking about empiricism. We're talking about real evidence. We're talking about fucking real nature. You know?
So we still have to experience the reality that we experience.
Yeah.
That's what we're getting at. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's like the 8th time we've had to reiterate that with this guy. Like, it doesn't matter all this shit that you're bringing up. What matters is reality.
No, what he's trying to argue for is that he chooses to believe in God, and that makes it more legitimate. First of all, that's not how belief works. You don't choose it. You are convinced or you are not. And if your feelings are leading you to God because he didn't choose. Let's be honest.
No,
he has not chosen to believe in God. He's had personal experience through emotionally significant moments.
Nobody chooses to go to a creation science class, no matter what he's saying here. You know,
what he's done is he's had emotionally significant experiences that meant something to him. Oh God, we've all had them. We've all had some one could argue spiritual experiences, and I don't mean that I mean that poetically, not in like a literal like souls exist. I mean, like, we've had these moments that transcend our very selves, right? Mm-hmm. Like, these are moments that are so emotionally profound that they touch us deeply. And for him, he's aligned that with the concept of his God.
Yep.
And therefore, he's trying to argue through
Exactly.
thought experiments that we should believe what.
To me, it reeks of the whole, it's the Gnosticism thing, the agnostic versus Gnosticism things. Like, well, what can you ever truly know? What I mean, because there's enough thought experiments and enough fucking hashing of details that you could say, honestly, there's nothing that you can claim to actually know.
Right. And I find that I still find that to be
it is a useless fucking argument. Yeah.
It's useless.
Right. It absolutely is. Yeah. No, this is an argument, or I guess I should say a discussion that I very recently had about the.
And it makes you want to pull your fucking hair out.
It does, yeah, about the possession of knowledge, whether or not can we know that a God exists or not? Well, no, we can't know it. No, we can't. And because we can't know it, because we live in a universe and a reality where for every single thing for everything, there are two options. Everything exists or it doesn't exist. That's it. There's no middle ground. There's no gray area.
As far as my consciousness goes, we exist.
Right. Yeah. No, we exist as far as we know. So
it's the whole jar of gumballs thing. You know, it's
right. Yeah.
Like, okay, so in that jar of gumballs, there's either an even or an odd number.
Right. There's either yeah.
And so just because you don't know specifically which one there is doesn't mean you get to say it is this, you know. You have to say
it's irrelevant though. It's an irrelevant discussion because here we are existing.
Yep, exactly.
Right. Here we are existing, and we live in a universe where things either do exist or don't exist. And when in this reality, we have to say that if there is no evidence, no traces, no argument no logical reason for something to exist, then we have to say until something shows up, we have to say it doesn't, for all intents and purposes, exist.
Yep.
Right. And maybe I don't exist. Maybe this is all the dream world, but then I have to quote some other philosophers who can tell the difference. Who fucking cares? This is where I'm at the goddamn fucking moment. This is what I have to work with.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you that the dream world it lacks consistency.
Mm-hmm. Not this one, though.
I cannot form any sense of self or realization in there because it's just what it is.
It's just like, your synapses firing in random fucking weird orders.
It's so random and it's so bizarre and so weird. And so it forms no consistency where this reality totally has a consistency.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's like runny eggs.
Right.
Actually, I love runny eggs.
So in a lot of ways, it's an argument that is completely irrelevant because you get to a point where a universe with a god and a universe without a god look exactly the same.
Exactly. And that's what he's not understanding in this whole thing.
Right.
There's you don't know what happened. We don't even have a good grasp on what happened historically 1,000 years ago or 2,000 years ago.
Bullshit.
Right? We've got pieces of stuff, but
we've got a pretty good idea. Yeah.
No, we actually have a very good idea of culture and of concepts and of the ideas. But you're right. We don't have the Facebook where we can journalize literally everyone who's existed because Facebook is just basically a living journal. Like it's just a journal. Yeah. And it's awesome. I'm sorry, archaeologically speaking. Shit, yeah.
It makes me laugh that all of the stuff going to Twitter is going to be indexed in the fucking Library of Congress.
It is amazing.
They are indexing that fucking database. So all of it's going to be there.
You're going to find archaeologists who are like, I wonder what this person thought of the 2016 election. They're just going to, there's a person.
Oh, look.
And this person also lost a family member. And this person also got a new job.
I know. Think about it. And they were stuff is going to be in the Library of Congress for us. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and these people were so sexually progressive. Like, it's a thing. And it's awesome. And I don't care what anyone... I won't destroy and I've been looked at weirdly for this by my boss and my boyfriend. I won't read them again, but I have kept every single letter that my ex-husband wrote me while he was in basic training. It's still there. It's preserved. I'm not going to get rid of it because, goddamn, that's some history right there. That is a journal into somebody's life. That's amazing shit. It's completely irrelevant for me now, but that doesn't make it irrelevant for like the story of people.
I've got my book of angsty teenage poetry that I wrote into a blank book.
I've never got rid of any of my angsty teenage poetry, nor any of my art.
And I filled out the book cover to cover, front of pages, back of pages with angsty as shit poetry. And I thought I was going to be the next Henry Rollins. That's
going to matter someday. Not because it's going to be ever great art necessarily, but because it's going to tell the story of a human being. And it's going to give some context. And it's fucking important. So this guy with his
who doesn't know? We don't have history. We don't know about history.
Yeah, we don't have history forever.
Let's give him like a minute of talking because we keep interrupting.
Okay,
No, it's fine.
100 years ago, we've got false history. We've got problems with our timelines and knowing, historical records, right? We've improved, right? We've got much better, but to think, I mean, do you understand how big a million is, right? Can you even fathom how
Where did that come from?
million years is? Right? Can you imagine the margin of error? And you could say carbon dating, radioactive carbon dating and all this stuff. But
hang on.
That assumes that the atmosphere had to be. There's a lot of data points. Yes.
John.
No,
I love you, sir. Carbon dating has fuck all to do with what's going on in the atmosphere. It has to do with the half-life of fucking carbon, the carbon 50.
But they can align those dates with atmospherical differences, which means like carbon dating. You're right. He's right. If it was just carbon dating alone, it would be useless information because we have nothing to base it on.
Argon. We have
right, but we can align that carbon with other atmospheric or geological or anything
you can look
else.
At the strata layers on fucking, like you dig up a place here, like down deep enough in the fucking ground, and you dig up the same place like at the same elevation. Somewhere else, you're going to get the same fucking layers of strata.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
So, it's comparative. It's fine.
Yeah. No. Any single dating method is going to have a margin of error, and depending on how far back,
more of them.
Depending on how far back you go, that margin of error is going to shift from 5 or 10 years to 5 or 10,000 years. So you have multiple ways of measuring
data points, right? And so it turns out.
I want to buy him the book of how they found the Tiktaalik fish.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where they said, okay, well, we're looking for a transitory species that's going to be probably within this area at this depth of strata. And so we're going to look here. And they dug there and they found exactly what they were fucking looking for because evolution is testable, knowable, and fucking proven.
One bunny.
Yes.
One fucking bunny rabbit.
Yep.
In the Precambrian era. That lines up atmospherically and geologically. One bunny skeleton, and it's done.
But I just hate that I hear his creation science teaching coming through on the whole. It's the whole Kent Hovind kind of shit where he's like, oh, you're going to rely on those dating methods? Oh, you can falsify those. Like, yeah, you can. That's why we don't do just one. And
there's multiple.
And the thing is that he sounds so ignorant here, and I know he's not. He's a really smart guy. The thing is like you're trying to say carbon dating for millions of years. No. You only do carbon dating for recent times.
What about our ice caps and the ice samples? We can absolutely analyze the atmosphere, it turns out that those align with carbon dating. Like it's fucking fantastic. Like
and you can test obsidian because that's a layered rock. Apparently there's layers of it that have like tree rings, like how we guess the ages of trees and shit. It's like you can take a piece of obsidian and be like, oh, this one's at least X amount of years old, because that's the way science fucking works. And it's amazing.
It's shocking.
I know. And it's testable and repeatable and falsifiable.
And that's the thing about it.
And it's like, so that's either every scientist is in collusion with each other and they're lying about all this stuff, or it works. and it's the conclusions we've reached.
Well, and as our scientific population, the people who are studying the sciences has become more diverse and has been coming from so many different backgrounds. Like, we can find absolute instances of scientific corruption, such as nutrition science and the sugar industry recently being outed as absolutely getting the nutrition scientists to point to fat rather than sugar as the cause of obesity, right?
Yeah.
There is many instances of scientific fraud, but it turns out that as we allowed more diversity and we allowed for more independent forms of research with people who were not beholden to major industries, we've been getting better and better and more accurate science, and that's where these ideas have been proven in. It's not by the people who have been beholden to any industry. These are by people who just genuinely want to know. And there's no coincidence there that the more diverse our research becomes, the better our science becomes.
Indeed.
Right.
Could work out and it could make sense, but it could also be just total hogwash. It may not be
not so simple
accurate at all.
Nope.
I just want to unbrainwash you from this.
Uh-oh.
Again, this is not me refuting quote science. I'm just saying that this isn't science. This is pure speculation that we're led to believe
it's not
valid science. Science, right, is something that you test a theory and you perform multiple experiments and it either validates that result or it doesn't. That's a scientific method, right?
No, he's got it completely wrong. I'm going to let it play though.
That we believe that's forced down our throats. Those are not
down your throat.
Anywhere in the realm of the scientific method. When we go out and we say, we have this theory, and it's this Big Bang Theory, and the whole universe, blah, 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 and there's not enough matter, so there must be dark matter that we can't detect, because that will make up for the missing mass. That sounds like... it could be true. That's possible.
It is true.
But it could also just be a real good way to fill in the gap in the theory that you have that's not working so well.
We have mathematical theories for this, dude. It's not like we're just going, oh, shit, well, we can't account for all this stuff. It must be dark matter. No, we're saying, okay, we see that there's a discrepancy here, but we've never
Dark matter is simply just a mathematical explanation for something that we cannot explain. Yes. It is not claiming dark matter actually exists. It's just it's the fucking variable in the mathematical equation. It's not.
It's like the Higgs boson. We know it exists. We just cannot detect it. We cannot figure it out.
Yeah, we cannot analyze the actual.
We can't tell you what it is. We can't tell you how it interacts with our universe.
Things, or if it's things, multiple things. That's also a possibility.
Yeah, let me clear it up for people. Dark matter doesn't mean a specific nibbler poop from Futurama. That has nothing to do with that. Dark matter is the giant question mark as to what holds all the shit together in the universe. Because technically, we're
shits.
Well, I'm just saying, technically, like they have that one galaxy. I don't know if you guys saw that where they had the dark galaxy. I think we talked about it before.
Yeah.
Where the lights, the amount of star density within that galaxy is 1/1000th of what we would have in the Milky Way and other galaxies.
Right.
So there is no reason for it to be held together as a galaxy unless there was something else holding it together.
Right. It's a variable. It's a variable. Yeah. We don't understand it. Therefore,
we say, wow, that's really fucking cool. We don't know what's doing that, but mathematically, this is what it should be.
All right, can we clear up the Big Bang Theory here real quick? The Big Bang Theory does not, despite colloquialism, it does not mean the start of the universe. It just means that the universe is expanding from a singular point. We cannot claim that the universe as we know it started that way. We understand that it was condensed and that it is expanding. That's all we know.
Yep.
We don't know that's where time started. Time is in line with the expansion of the Big Bang.
Well, unfortunately, time's that weird fucking construct that we experience only in frames instead of, as a beginning to end kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. Our understanding of time is completely subjective due to our evolutionary circumstance. That's the reality.
We're not fourth dimensional beings. We can't see.
Yeah, our experience of time is completely subjective, so we can only analyze it from our completely subjective experience. Funny thing, math explains that.
Yeah.
It does.
Weird.
Yeah, there are mathematical explanations, and he also seem a lot of these guys also seem to get hung up on like placeholder terms like dark matter, dark matter, or dark energy. Yeah, no, those are.
It throws us into a fucking feeding frenzy when we hear him using this stuff wrong, and it's like, no, you're fucking wrong.
Terms don't mean shit. They mean
right.
They're fucking question marks. And that's
like
fine. We understand that there's something there.
Right. Like when they called the Higgs the God particle. That was we don't know, so we'll call it the God particle.
And it was a tongue in cheek.
Can't find
it's as elusive as God, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh.
But they found it. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, we found it.
And it turns out it doesn't explain everything.
That the Earth and universe isn't, the Earth isn't hundreds of millions of years old, and the universe isn't billions of years old. It very well could be. There's really good, pieces of data that seem to indicate that that's likely true. But I'm also saying
can't admit it.
that it's possible that there's a third alternative. There's something we haven't even thought of. There's 1,000 other possible.
It's like, pick a side of the fence, asshole.
Yes, there are
billions
and billions of possibilities that you can't possibly fathom, that they are completely irrelevant. They're just possibilities. Like Doctor Who restarted the Doctor. Excuse me, I know better. The Doctor just restarted the universe. You don't fucking know. It doesn't fucking matter. This is the universe we existed, and everything we say, everything we have, indicates that it's billions of years old.
Well,
4.5.
I just muted him a little bit on it, but he was trying to
motherfucker.
He was trying to say like they have it like boiled down to a choice between A or B. Like, and he's like, there are other choices besides A or B. Like, no, there's no choice. There's no choice in the matter.
Yeah, this isn't a choice.
There's no choice. There is A. We know A. We can prove A. B is the untested claim, by the Christians out there, by the creationists, by the Muslims, by the fucking Buddhists, by all of them that have a creation myth.
Believe that the Earth or the universe was birthed from an egg? Is it the Chinese?
I don't know.
Yeah, there are all these other options which haven't been proposed, haven't been tested, haven't been explored. So
the Navajo told me that the universe went through a maze, and it was originally that all life was insects.
Oh.
And then that all life was insects, and then it completed the maze, and that's why we have human life now. And some of the life is still going through the insect maze, and then as humans navigate the maze of our existence, then we will go on to the next plane of existence. Why is that disregarded, motherfucker? No, because you.
I don't know. Yeah, sure.
God.
I don't know. Sure, that sounds just as plausible.
It sounds just as plausible as God did it.
That's just as plausible as a super deity going. You know what? I think I want a universe over there.
Like the
there.
Navajo's better though.
Like
I know. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
Well, okay. To be
it's
honest,
more
there's
poetic.
theirs is more poetic, and honestly, theirs is also used half as a parable. As far as you live your life ignorant as an insect, and then you can become more mature, and then as you reach enlightenment, you can understand the universe in a great it's more of a parable rather than a literal concept, but their language truly translate that. But
I'd be very surprised if any of them believe there is a literal maze.
I'm going to give him one more minute.
They don't mean it that way. That's not how they.
There's another 7 minutes of this, but we're not going to make it through that. And I am not bringing this back next week. I am definitely not. So this is going to be the end of it. We're going to let him talk just a little bit more.
Probably we don't know. So that's where I stand. Is I don't have a stand. I have some data on both sides, and I pick a third way. I don't choose to have a strong opinion at this point in time, but I do choose to say that neither one of them seems totally loony. Actually, I'll take that back.
Wow. Neither one of them seemed totally loony.
Mountains of evidence and combining different scientific
consensus,
scientific consensus through multiple
claims.
through multiple fields of scientific research that all align and have proven each other's hypotheses and theories over and over and over again, versus what about this thing?
Fuck me. God did it.
God damn it. No, this is just the biggest waffly non-answer.
This is the biggest wank I've ever heard guy go through.
Hey, let's talk about all these things, and then I'm just going to say, you know what, but you know what? I don't really know.
I don't know, so I'm not going to pick anything.
I don't know, so I'm going to say everybody's opinion is equally valid.
No,
climate change people all over again.
He's not, though, because he's been trying to discredit
science.
Others. He's been trying to discredit the scientific evidence. So no, he's not saying that everyone's is equally valid. What he's saying is go with your feelings. Yeah, it's an appeal to emotion, and that's it. Yeah.
Look, whatever you feel in your balls, that's what you go with.
No.
Because both of them seem totally loony. Because let's go back. Let's just go back. Let's just use some of our faculties, right, to actually think for ourselves. And let's go back and let's look at two premises. Let's look at one premise that says that we evolved, right? And so if we did, and we follow that whole thing back, right? Because it's got to all be true or none of it, right? Because that's the way, but let's follow that back to the Big Bang. And let's say that, okay, so in this universe,
to the point.
We have a cause and effect, right? Every effect had some cause. So there must have been some effect. The Big Bang, the dot particle, whatever it was, the whole universe in one dot before it blew up. That there must have been some effect that had no cause.
Oh, there you go. There's the calm cosmological argument.
No.
Assumptions. That's not how this
prime mover
works, motherfucker.
That is Kent Hovind shit. That is Kent Hovind right there.
There had to have been something that started the Big Bang. Why do you assume such a thing?
It had to have an effect without a cause. Like, okay, prove it.
Yeah, fucking prove it. We don't fucking know. We know this thing occurred. Yeah. That's it.
No, I'm sorry. You're getting into quantum mechanics, which is very, very complicated and very hard to. Well, one, it's very hard to explain, and it's very hard to understand. But it works.
I've always said that I watched several times different, very good documentaries on quantum mechanics. Right, trying to explain different.
It's exactly like Henry Pym says. The more that I learned about quantum mechanics, the more I realized I didn't know anything.
Yeah, no, I get to there, and I've explained this multiple times. I'm like, I can understand that dolphins understand language, and they have their own language. I can understand how emotions exist and why. I can understand fundraising techniques, and I can understand Excel. But then you start talking quantum mechanics to me, I can understand math, for fuck's sake. If I work hard enough, I can understand math, which our brains are not evolved to do, by the way.
But I'm fucking good at
it. I have to work
not
at
as
it.
good as a computer, but
I have to work at math. I have to work at it. But I can understand. I can memorize rote facts like nobody's been. I can just remember shit. Like that's what I do. But you get me to quantum mechanics, and my brain just goes, nope.
Just shits right out your ear. Just like, I'm done. I give up. Nope. This doesn't make sense to me.
I hear that you have words, but like I've said that multiple times. Quantum mechanics stops my fucking brain.
Like you get to premise A, and you're like, okay, I'm following you. Therefore, premise B, and you're like, fuck, nope, you lost me.
This program.
Okay, it just magically happened.
Nope.
And then we had to start.
Not magic.
No, magic is your god.
Oh well, time didn't exist. It just magically came into creation.
No, that's not. We don't know that. We don't know that
spontaneously, without a cause.
We don't know that.
Still saying I don't know is better than you saying God did it.
Right. We don't know. He's like time just spontaneously. No, we don't know that. We just know how time functions in our current existence.
Time functions linearly because of that's how we observe it.
Yeah, we have almost no understanding of time.
Oh, we have virtually no understanding of time. We have virtually no understanding of how quantum particles can actually blink into existence from seeming nothingness.
Or
even though it's something that we have observed.
How about those particles that don't change and when we're observing them, and then that when we don't observe them, they change really, really rapidly?
Yeah.
Or how about quantum tunneling, where you have two identical quantum particles and you separate them, and one can essentially teleport to the other. You know,
Yeah, we have no
you make an
fucking
effect
clue.
on one, the effect shows up
Right.
on the other. That's
We have
fucking weird.
no clue.
Right.
But no, just fucking the other answer
God
of
did it.
God did it is just as good. No, it's fucking not.
Okay.
Right.
That's pretty strange. It's mystical, right?
No.
Or we have
No,
to
it's
say
not mystical.
there's some high power. There's a God somewhere.
Did you catch that? We have to say. He said we
No,
have
we
to say.
don't.
No, we don't. We don't. We
don't.
have no clue.
No, we don't. There's been, find one cosmological researcher, one cosmologist who has looked and studied the origins of the universe, who has said, well, there has to be a creator. Because every single one who has looked at and studied the origins has said, this can happen without external intervention.
He needs to watch some
Everything
Lawrence
we
Krauss.
understand, everything we understand does not require God.
No.
To be said, that 99% of existence we don't understand, but everything we do have can be explained without a God.
Right.
And okay, so what happened before God?
We don't
He was
know.
eternal. He just existed forever. Well, let's just keep rolling back the timeline. Oh, no.
I do give him credit for going with this one and trying to talk about the problem of infinite regression, but
Well, he exists outside of time. Okay, so he created everything, and now he's not really interacting very much.
that's deism.
Mhm.
Okay, that's pretty weird.
Why?
Yeah,
See what
Why
I'm
is
saying?
that
Like,
weird?
wherever you go, it's going to be weird. To some degree,
No.
you could say, well, the only thing that makes sense is that there's God and He created all this stuff.
No, that's not the only thing that makes sense.
And you got to still ask the question, where did God come from, and all this, and that's a very mystical viewpoint. But at the same token, if you go to the Big Bang and you say that some dot appeared and blew up, and it doesn't have a cause, it's an effect without a cause, that's pretty mystical and weird as well. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, this is why
I can't tell the difference between the two of them, so I'm going to say neither of them's right. No, that's
Right.
the
No,
gist of this whole thing.
That's really what it is.
Right.
It's like, I don't understand any of it, therefore none of it, or my preferred answer must be true. That's
Right.
bullshit. Because
And
what
look-
science says is, okay, so this thing occurred, we know nothing else, and his answer is, well, since you know nothing else, then it must be my answer. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
And it doesn't even make sense. I mean, even if you are going to constrain the God argument to the origin of the universe, at the very least, that makes God irrelevant today.
Yeah.
No kidding.
I mean, seriously, fine. If a God, if a deity created the universe and then walked away, that
It's the
just
same
makes-
thing
that-
as
it-
there not
yeah.
ever being one.
right? There's no difference between it happened with a God or happened without a God. It
So
doesn't
why should
matter.
you worship or believe?
Right. There is no, it makes it completely irrelevant.
And to put a cap on
No.
the whole thing, he did say in one of his own books, and I found the quote, I am a Christian. So
Of course he is.
Good
of
for
course
him.
he is. I mean, yeah, great for you. But the thing is, you're doing your audience a great fucking disservice.
Yep.
By talking about stuff that you don't know about. I get it. You are a fucking super intelligent computer programmer. I get it. You're good at that.
No, but he's good at patterns. That's what he does. He programs things.
Right, sure.
So
Look at
for
But
him,
you are
from him,
absolutely horrible at scientific thought. You are absolutely
Yeah.
horrible at,
right.
talking outside your own wheelhouse. When it comes to philosophy, great, philosophize as much
Right.
as you want. But when it comes
Absolutely.
to hard fucking data, you know,
All right,
Right.
here's the key to scientific thought. Like, seriously, honestly, I don't know shit.
you know nothing, Jon Snow.
I know
That's-
nothing, Jon Snow.
it.
That's
And-
seriously, that's the basis of scientific thought. I don't know
Right.
shit.
Right. And when you don't know, you don't get to attribute something else.
to a maker
Exactly.
or to a prime
Right.
mover or
It
to
requires constant research and reading and
Right.
analysis, and that's why we come to conclusions. And at the end of the day, once we come to a conclusion, it opens up other things where we're like, I don't know shit about this.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Indeed.
the answer. I don't know shit.
But that's it for us. Fuck, it's late. We're going to bed. Hey, thanks for listening, guys. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next week with another show. Talk to you later.
Good night.